Hey, we're back with Lesson 5.1 Lines Part 2. And this time, we're going to use that vocab and what we learned yesterday to actually find some missing angles. All right, so I'm going to give you one angle of these 8 angles, okay? And you will learn how to find the measurement of all of the other angles, okay? Now, there's going to be this important part where you have to justify your answer. You guys are probably pretty good at justifying your answers, especially your excuses to your parents. Why didn't you do the dishes? Well, I was, okay, that's justifying, right? You're giving a reason why, okay? But now you'll have to apply that strength to math, which can be challenging at times, but I believe in you. I think you can do it. Okay, so if I give you one angle here of these 8, can you find the other 7 angle measures? Okay, well, here's a little clue. You're going to use 2 lines of reasoning. All right, one is, oh, the angle I'm looking for is congruent to an angle I know. So that just means they're the same. They match. So if you know one, you know the other. Okay, or another line of reasoning would be, hey, I think those 2 angles, the one I know and the one I don't know, are supplementary. All right, supplementary meaning they add up to 180. So you would just take 180, subtract the one you know, and get the one you don't know. Okay, so our 2 lines of reasoning today, either you're going to say the 2 are congruent, or the 2 are supplementary. Okay? So that simplifies it. Okay, now we have some other phrases that'll help us determine if 2 things are congruent, and some phrases that'll help us determine if they're supplementary. Okay? So like linear pairs are always supplementary. Alternate interior, alternate exterior, corresponding, and vertical angles are always congruent. So if they're any of those 4 things, we know they're just congruent. But if they're linear pairs, that's what we're going to look for supplementary. Okay? So let's start this off with, I'm going to tell you what angle 1 is. So let's say angle 1 is 130 degrees. And now we're going to use that information to find all of this. Now this, we're going to write next to that, that's given. Okay, that's what I told you. All right, now you're going to have to use that given to get all of the other angle measurements. So I'm going to write in 130 degrees. Angle 1, the measurement of angle 1 is 130 degrees. Okay, now let's use some reasoning here. Okay, now the easiest one that I see would be to look for a vertical angle. Okay, so angle 1 is here, and if we extend that line and extend this line, we see that on the opposite side of that intersection, okay, is angle 4. So if we go down to angle 4 here, we know that vertical angles are always congruent, right? Congruent. Vertical angles are always congruent, so they're the same. So the measurement of angle 4 is 130 degrees. Now we need to justify. Okay, we need to give our reasoning. How do we know that? Okay, the measurement of angle 4 is 130 degrees because it's vertical to, let's not use the long way to write angle, let's use the abbreviated. It's vertical to angle 1. Okay, so that's just our little reasoning there. We can get that. This was given, and we can know this because of its relationship to the known angle. Okay, so now let's write it in as we go. All right, we got 130 there. Now, what else can we get? There's so many different ways we can go with this. So I'm going to look for corresponding angles now. Okay, corresponding. So 130, angle 1, what does that correspond with? Remember, corresponding means, remember we did kind of like the pi? and the same piece in each of the pies. So you just kind of like slide down this transversal, slide the pie down, and what is the matching part? So since angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding angles, we know all corresponding angles are congruent. So therefore, those two are the same. So we know that now angle 5 is going to be 130 degrees as well. All right, and why? Because it's corresponding with angle 1. Okay, it corresponds with angle 1. Okay, now how are we doing so far? Let's write that in, 130 degrees. All right, now what's another angle that you know because of our rules and our definitions and our vocabulary? All right, well, we can actually get angle 8 in a variety of different ways. Okay, we can say, oh, it's vertical to 5. We can also say it corresponds with 4. We can also say it's alternate exterior with angle 1. All right, but either way, any of those ways, angle 8 is going to be 130 degrees. 130 degrees. Okay, I'm just going to say, because I want to be fancy, I'm going to say it's alternate exterior to angle 1. Because it's alternate exterior to angle 1. All right, let's keep going. Now this could be maybe the tricky part, but 4 of the 8 angles are all going to measure 130. All right, now the other 4, I wonder if they're going to measure the same, like a different number, but all be the same different number. Okay, let's check this out. Well, let's go back to our original angle. Okay, we're missing angle 2 here. And what special pair of angles are angle 1 and angle 2? Hopefully you said a linear pair. And a linear pair of angles are adjacent angles that share one side and one vertex, right? And their unshared sides shoot off and make a straight angle. So these two together make a straight angle. So together they should add up to 180. All right, so 130 plus what equals 180? Hopefully you said 50 degrees. Okay, so the measurement of angle 2 is 50 degrees. And what's our reasoning? Angle 2 and angle 1 are a linear pair. All right, so they have to add up to 180. Right, they have to add up to 180, so we see that 130 plus 50 is 180. All right, now the dominoes should fall pretty easily now. We're missing 3. Okay, we could say it's a linear pair with 1. Or the easier way to do it would say, oh, it's vertical to 2. Okay, angle 3 is vertical to 2, so they have to be equal. So we got 50 degrees is angle 3 and angle 2 are vertical angles. All right, and all vertical angles are congruent. Let's go. We just not have to get 6 and 7 now, just 6 and 7. So let's see. Let's go with 6 first. Okay, what do we got? All right. Oh, I forgot to put this in. Couple different ways we can get it. We can say, well, 6 is a linear pair with 5, so they're supplementary, or they add to 180. So that had to be 50. Or we can say 6 corresponds with angle 2, so they're congruent, so 50 and 50. Or we can say, well, we have alternate interior angles, which are always congruent. 6 and 3, so they're congruent, so that's 50. Okay, so either way, any way we slice it, we get 50 degrees for angle 6. 50 degrees for angle 6, and which one do we want to choose? Well, let's say angle 6 and angle 3 are alternate interior. Okay, so because we see that they're alternate interior, we know they have to be congruent, so therefore they both have to be 50 degrees. And finally, angle 7 right here. Well, let's just go with the easy one. 6 and 7 are vertical angles, so they have to be congruent, so that has to be 50 degrees. Okay, so angle 7 is 50 degrees as well. And our justification is that angle 7 and angle 6 are vertical angles. All right, so there you go, the dominoes. We started with just one angle measurement, and we were able to get all of the other angle measurements formed by this transversal, which crosses through two parallel lines. Now, a transversal that crosses through non-parallel lines doesn't work like this. The special situation here is that it's parallel lines that this transversal is going through. Okay? Our two reasoning methods were, are they congruent or are they supplementary? And we figured those out by knowing all of our vocab and angle positionings. Okay, well, another beautiful day for math. How about it? Woodworth out.